Here is the Ryzen processor sitting in its new home, and over here is the AMD cooler. This does come with all sorts of cables because there are LEDs in the fan. Now I don't need any LEDs, so no cables for me. Thankfully these are not permanently attached. On the cooler you can see there is this really nasty looking heatsink compound already on there, but I'll be cleaning that off. Instead I got some Arctic Silver 5, which I'm going to apply. Here is the motherboard all assembled, and yeah, before I have anybody telling me that I put the heatsink in upside down, well, it does fit mechanically, and the advantage of mounting it this way around is that the cable for the fan is neatly going along the side of that, so that's out of the way. And then here we have the RAM with some pretty big heat sinks on there. Time to disassemble the old computer. And there is the new motherboard in its place. Of course I had to install that twice because the first time I forgot to check the positioning of the standoffs. It's a couple of hours later now. This is what the system looks inside. This is what it looks like on the back. And then this is the front. I ran out of time that evening, so it's now another evening, and I think I have the computer pretty much finished. If it works, that is. So let's take a quick look around. There is the cooler, which I should have probably mounted the right way around, because what I initially thought was a nice way of storing the cable for the fan away, I took another look at it and I thought, well, this is kind of stupid because the cable was blocking the heatsink fins down there. So I got that rerouted, and it's now looking a little bit messy. Yes, I'll probably have plenty of people complaining about cable management, as they normally do. But you know what? I spend almost 2 hours messing about with cables, and at this point I really don't give a shit anymore. It's good enough for me, and that's all that matters. Okay? Right. There is the internal USB 3.0 connection for the card reader over there. And unfortunately this motherboard has only one internal USB 3 connection. So again, I'm not able to use the USB 3 jacks that the case has, so the cable for that is tucked away up there. As for the SATA cables, now the motherboard came with 4 SATA cables. They're black, and they do say SATA 6G on there. So as a consequence of that, I wasn't sure if the old red SATA cables will support the SATA 6G. So for the hard drives, I used the black cables the motherboard came with, and for the optical drive, now it is a Blu-ray drive, but all I really ever use it for are CDs and DVDs, and for those, the old red cable should definitely be enough, so that's what I used right there. Moving on, again, I am supporting the graphics card right here with this piece of wire so it doesn't hang down in this corner, putting stress onto the motherboard. That wouldn't be good. I have my USB 2.0 bracket installed right there, and I also have a serial port bracket installed. I noticed I did not check whether or not the power supply is rated properly. It is a 550 watt supply, and it was really quite expensive, so I'm confident that it will output the 550 watts that it's rated for. Whether or not that is enough for the new processor, I don't know. I guess I'll have to find out about that. Moving on around here, there is one mechanical hard drive. Another mechanical hard drive will join. I already have the connections prepared for that down there. And then I got two SSDs right there. One is for the operating system and the other one is the input drive for video editing. I just put all the source files on there, and that does seem to speed up the video editing performance quite a bit. Now, in the bottom of the case, I closed up that hole right there. Just put some cardboard over it because I don't have the jigsaw over here, so I was not able to cut out a piece of metal for that. But that will happen eventually. I finally decided that having an air intake in the bottom of the case was a really stupid idea because it's just going to act like a vacuum cleaner and you'll constantly have to clean out the air filter like I have to with a power supply filter right there. Instead, I do have the option of mounting two fans into the side panel around here and around here, and even though the graphics card is fairly big, those fans will fit, so I'm probably going to experiment with some additional fans in the side panel. That just seems to make a lot more sense to me. There it is. That's a look at the back of the unit. Nothing special there. And then this is the front. And now, the moment of truth. Let's turn on the power supply. Ooh, we got LED. We got fancy RGB LED. What the hell? Look at that. Okay, so we do have some signs of life. Let's push the power button and see what happens. Oh my god. Okay, so I'm gonna press delete. And it looks like the RGB LEDs of the cooling fan are working even without those cables. Pressing delete to get into the BIOS. The monitor is not finding a signal. We've got a yellow LED. Got a yellow, got a red LED, blue. What does that even mean? Those are some status LEDs up there. We'll have to see what this is all about. Anyway, not getting anything. Oh! Getting something now. Republic of Gamers. Press delete. New CPU installed. Press F1 to run setup. Okay, I can do that. Alright. So, I don't know why it took so long. AMD Ryzen 7 2700X 8-core processor. Speed is presently set to 3.7 gigahertz. It detected the full 32 gigabytes of DDR4 memory. Memory frequency is only 2133. It should be 3200. Maybe that clock speed is also set dynamically like the processor clock speed. I don't know. I'll have to check, but so far this all looks pretty good. So I'm going to look through here once again, and if all seems fine, I'm going to take the computer from over here in the workshop over into the house to install the operating system.